All right. Just give me an acknowledge if you can be able to see my screen, everyone.
Yes, bro, I can see that.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. So, guys, as we discuss about the IP addresses clearly in the past, right? Now we're going to talk about the type of topologies. What are the type of different topologies will be there, and what are their functions are. So, before I go ahead and talk much about the topology, I would like to tell you something about the network, what type of networks we have, like how it would be. So whenever we see that the topologies might be like, topologies are used to design the network component, network devices, like how we can fix it, right? So we have the different type of the networks. Let's see that the network can be considered as we have something called as a LAN network. We have something called as a MAN network. We have something called as a WAN network. Let's take it. So we call it the local area network, metropolitan area network, and we have something called as a WAN network. So whenever we see that these are the networks which have been used in order to design the complete transmission process, right? Like how the devices connect, what type of information are there, how those network can work there. So we'll see that what are the network types are there and how it can be worked on. If I'll say the LAN network, so we know that LAN network are nothing but let's imagine situations we have a certain devices here. Let's say that this is my one workstation, this is my another workstation. We have like certain workstations and certain devices which is connected to within the network here. Let's imagine this, right? So we can be considered that these will be all the devices, whatever we are saying that here, right? So whenever we see that these devices are connected within a limited area, that is a home, office, or like that can be within the building where we can see. So whenever we connected these devices, this type of the network we can call as a LAN network. Example, let's take example. We have this is as I said you that this is can be considered as a workstation. So we have a different workstations here. So this is one workstations we have it. This is another workstations we have it. Let's just consider that. This is all our workstations will consider here. Okay. So this is the workstation. This is the workstation. So when we have this workstation, let's see that this is my file server. Okay. Let's say that this can be considered as a file server here. Then we have something here. Let's say that as a printer. Consider it. So we have something called as a printer here where we can see it. Now, when we are seeing that there is the devices like printers, all these are connected our within the network, right? Now there is one user is there outside this network. Okay? There is one user is there outside this network, and this user want to access the printer. Do you think this user can get access this printer? Is that possible?
No.
No, right? So these person can't directly access the printer is not possible here. In order to get an access this printer, this person should become under the network, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? He should come to the LAN network. Then only he can be able to get an access. So example of LAN network, can I say our home network, right? So we can see that we have this is ISP, right? That is a WAN. Actually, we can say that. And here we have the router. Let's say that. Let me just make it. Okay. Let's say that this is our router. Now the router is connecting to the ISP services. We know very well about that, right? So whatever the ISPs are there, the router is connected through which the communications happen. But here we have the several devices. Let's consider this all device, like whatever we have these devices. Let me consider these devices. Okay. So these devices, what we have it. Okay, let me make it some new devices. So let's say that this is the one workstation. We have like several workstations where we can see that here. We have some workstations here. Let us consider. So these workstations are connected to the one network here. Let's say that all these are connected to the router here, as we can see. So these all devices are connected to the router. So these type of connections, what we call it? These connections we call as LAN network, right? Whatever the
LAN.
transmission, yeah, local area network. So these connections we call as the LAN network, where the the communications which is happening within these devices. These devices are connected to this one. So these type of connections within the router, what we are talking about is it's called as a LAN connection. Okay. Am I clear, everybody?
Yes,
Yes.
bro.
Now, if I talk about something else, there is another network. Let us consider that. So that will be considered as a MAN network. Now, what is the MAN network here? MAN is nothing but we call as a metropolitan area network. So which covers certain large in the the land network here. It's large campuses are there, cities are there. So it might cover like let's see that we have different campus. We have the campus one, we have another campus, like building one, building two, building three, building four, like this and so on. Like where you can see that. So this type of network where I can say that this is nothing but the metropolitan area network we have. So we can be considered the B3, B4, and so on. So this is the different buildings can be get connect on the common network. So this type of the network we call as a metropolitan area network. Now what we have another network. Let us consider that. So if I talk about these networks, this can be considered as a WAN network. Now what is the WAN? Wide area network. WAN is a wide area network. Let's imagine a situation like we have our office there in India. Also, we have one branch there in United States. There is one branch is the United Kingdom. Let us consider. We have another branch. Let's say consider into somewhere into United or Australia. Let's say instead of that. So if we can see that this is our anywhere we can be get connect right the entire world. Either it can be the United States, United Kingdom, it can be in Australia, it can be in India. So whatever it might be there, like the network, the wide area network allow us to get connect with this multiple areas here. Correct? Got my point, everybody? It's like an internet as we are getting access. Got it?
Bro, how it's possible?
Yes,
Like
yes.
this is about internet or this is about something
Yeah,
network?
Nazir. Yeah, Nazir. I'm talking about internet is network is your internet only, right? So when I'm
Yeah.
talking about the internet network is like this. Let me tell you one example. Imagine situation we are accessing Google Drive, right? Let's say that you access the Google Drive, right? We use the Google Drive. So
Yeah. Cloud.
yeah, cloud, okay. So while we are using the Google Drive, so we store different data in that, correct?
Yes.
That can be photos, PDFs, and so on, right? But can you tell me
Yep.
that what exactly the locations can be there of your Google Drive? Are they based in India? Are based in US? Are they based in Singapore? Are they based in Australia? Are they based in United Kingdom, New Zealand? Where it would be there?
It's like a virtual. We can access from anywhere.
No,
It's not fixed any particular.
no. Virtual, see, virtual is there, but physical somewhere the device is there, na? Google has
Yeah,
maintained that
it's
it is
in
a
the
physical device.
India. Yeah.
No. See, it's not particularly India, right? We're not aware about it.
Yeah.
Where it will be the region. Can be a multiple, yes. Even though we have an option to select the cloud services on based on the region, that is particularly specifically when you are saying that I want to use this region according to the compliance or process where we have the different controls, right? According to the
Yeah.
some of the compliances that the data should not go out of the country. Compliance requirement might be there in that case. So you'll be focusing on within those areas only, right? So that then the region will be selected. But when we are talking about it, whenever we have these data systems, while in general, if I'm using in the Google Drive, no user will get to know about these specifications, right? Where the data is there. It might be
Yeah.
widely used in anywhere in the country, correct?
Yes.
Either it can be in US, either it can be in UK, either it can be in Australia, it can be in India, it can be in Singapore. We're not aware about it. It might use anywhere servers, nearest server where it can be the data can come back, right? So that is how
Yes.
the wide area network will work.
Right.
Let me give you one example here. Okay. So let's have a look at this. If you see this map, right? So what this map is defined here, guys? This is all our internet connections. This is all the summer line cables where you can see, correct? Now, if I'll say that, how those countries are getting communicated. Can you see that here? The Sri
Yeah,
Lanka, Singapore, Malaysia. If I talk about it, like, what? So, under the sea, the Bay of Bengal, you can see that through that is the connection is going in. If I'm being connecting to the Middle East here, so this is the Middle East route are there, right? So there are the different process, like, in African countries, if I'll go here. So this is all about, like, African countries, Somalia, Kenya, Zimbabwe, where you can see that South Africa. So all these connections are here when we are talking about it. The same thing for the, like, United States and other, whatever we have it here. If you can be able to see that, this is how the
yeah,
connections
everywhere.
are there. Like, where this is at the gateways where the internet flows. This is can be considered. That is why the data can be get travel anywhere we want to get it sent at. Correct? You got my point, everybody?
Yes.
Yes. So how these connections are going in, like, what line it is using, what type of the data, what type, how the data flow can be happened. So between the United States with the particular state to the, like, the Spain particular area, if we can see that here. Got it? Are you able to see this here, everybody? Right?
Mm.
So Spain may have the different connections. It's not just depends on one, right? So there are the different countries need to be get connect here. Can you see this here?
So
Are you
every
able to
country is
see?
connected with the cables.
Yes, under the water, there is a submarine cables are there through which is contained, and even we can get the detail about it. What are the cables are there? How those can be there here? If you can see that, all the information. Are you getting my point, everybody? Yes. So this
Can
is
we also,
how.
can
Yes.
I ask a question? Can we also say cloud network is an example of one?
Mhm. You're asking me the cloud network.
Yeah, because cloud network is situated, nobody, I don't know where it is, but every country connects to it also.
Mhm.
Can it
See,
be as example of one?
yeah, it's like in, like, when we are talking about it, whenever we are saying that, all the information, right? Whatever the data flow it is happening, correct? So that is happening through these process here. So when we talk about the cloud network, it can be considered as a visualized resources, you know that can be defined with the SDNs. We have something called as a software defined networking, you know, SDN, if you may have heard about it. So that have the scalabilities that include the VMs, containers, like, there are the several processes are there. So it is like, it is all about the services what we use it. Okay. So it cloud network means like there's not exactly the current network, it's all internet only. The cloud is a part of internet, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Means like how we can access to the resources that is hosted on the cloud computer. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Okay. So means like, let's imagine a situation. You have one high configurations laptop and you have high configuration or storage. Correct. Now,
Yeah.
what you do that you want to make some business with that. Okay. So very high computer are there and very high data storage you have it. So what you have done, even you have a good internet speed and you have like always power backup, everything is ready with you. You have one admin team, you have one security team, you have some
Okay.
data security team, you have physical security team. So what you have done, you put it that on internet, that is cloud now. Got it? Now you said that
Yes.
any of you, if you want storage, you can come down to my services, you can log in your account, you pay certain amount, I will give you the storage based on your requirement. Okay. You said
Yeah.
that, like, I will give you 2 GB of data in just $5 for 1 year. Let's take example. So you have created one services on that. So you're putting the storage on the internet. That is a cloud network now, right? The resources
Yes.
is getting access. You got my point?
Yes.
Okay, so the resources, whatever we are saying. Is that clear, everybody? In here?
Yeah, very clear.
Yes,
Yeah, the
brother.
cloud computer is a storage computer.
Yeah, it's not only for the storage, but also it can be used as like, let's take an example. There are these different processes are there. We call as IS, PaaS, SaaS. Have you heard about it? Infrastructure as a software, platform as a services, infrastructure as a services. Like, we have like, software as a services, SaaS. Have you heard about that anytime?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Regarding scaling the care.
Yes, Arif. So it just means like, I'll tell you one simple example. Uh, Imagine a situation you have a computer with 8 GB RAM. Okay. You have an 8 GB RAM of computer. Yes. And you have like, some 1 TB of hard disk. Now you got one project. The project requirement is that you require 100 GB of RAM. Okay. You require 100 GB of RAM and you require 500 TB of hard disk and you require high speed of internet, right? Now, for this project, the budget is limited. Okay, the budget is limited. Now, at this point of time, if you're setting your these hardwares, the all the infrastructure, what is required, what are the configurations? I said you 100 GB RAM in one system with like 500 TB of storage you required. So if you're setting this as a some 5 missions, it will be more expensive to you. Correct? Yes or no? It's
Yes,
more than the budget of the project. Yes,
yes, yes.
correct. So at this point, what we do it here? Instead of that, we'll go to the cloud, we'll purchase these resources, we'll use that resources till we'll complete the project, and then we'll delete that resources. Correct? Pay as you use. We know that process. Correct? So it not only for the cloud can use only for the storage, but also can be a computer pool, storage pool, network pool that will be there where we can use. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that is what I want you to say. It was like I just want to make you introduce that if you're like many people or might may know you we are aware about that. The cloud is not just used for storage. It is used for okay. If I'll ask you one example, Netflix. Where is Netflix? Is there on cloud only, right?
No,
It's not there on cloud.
it's on
Yes,
cloud. It's on
it
cloud.
is
It's
on
on cloud.
Oh, obviously Netflix is there on cloud, right?
from anywhere.
Yes. Netflix is there on the cloud. They have put it all the services in the cloud. They made it the subscriptions. When you pay certain amount, you get it login details. With that, you can
Yeah.
access to this data here. Correct? That all the list
Yes.
of movies, series, whatever. So service will always be up whenever you want it. No matter how many users are there, they can be getting access. Worldwide, the people might may use the Netflix and can get an access. So how does it work? How the availability works? What are the scalabilities are there? So that is all about the services, right? Correct. You got my point,
Yes,
everybody?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Provide services.
Yeah. So this is how, like, where we can see the entire data flow or whatever the systems where we talk about it, like, it's based on this network here. So we can see that the WAN network, LAN network, and all. Now, whenever we talk about the topology, so what exactly means by the topology? Is there anybody have heard about the topology?
It's different types of network.
Mm-hmm.
Topology, the way you divide the protocol, how they're going to share the details. Kind of protocol, kind of rules, I think.
Okay, no worries. So when I say the topologies, whenever we are talking about the topologies are nothing but it's like how we arrange all the nodes, devices, computers, routers, switches, right? How we can connect that to the network. Whenever we have a network, how we are getting connect all these devices in a network. So how the data flow happens between these devices that might be give us an impact to the performance, scalabilities, or any other tolerance where we can see that. Overall, devices which have been connecting or arranging on the network, it can be physical or logical. That is we call as a topology. You got my point, everybody?
Yes, yes.
Right? So we can see that the bus topology, we have star topology, we have mesh topology, we have the ring topology, we have the hybrid topology, and so on. So whenever I talk about these topologies, something I would like to tell you that when I said the bus topology. Now, bus topology, what happens? All the devices share a single communication line, backbone, this line can be considered as a backbone cable where it will be sent. So here the single point when we can say that the data will be getting sent. So if suppose let's say that if I say that the single point of failure is there on this cable, right? So the entire connections may lost. So this is a poorer scalabilities will be there when we are talking about it. But in a very simple way, this has been designed in an earlier network. So nodes are connected to the bus cable by drop line and taps through which the communications happens. So if we can see that the advantage of this easy of installations, bus use less cabling. If I talk about the disadvantage about this, like they're difficult for reconnections, fault isolations, difficult for adding the new devices. So bus topology, one of the first topologies used in the early design of local area network. So whenever we have designed it. So in 80s, whenever we have designed the first network, it is used as the LAN network here. Then we have the ring topology. Ring topologies are nothing but as we can see that it's create the circular network section. So all the signals, like whatever the signals are there, which have been passes in the ring topology in the clockwise directions, in one direction, in the single directions between it. All the devices are connected here. So informations or the data which have been getting transferred, that's are into the it is equal to the all the network access here, all the devices here. So that data will go from the device one to the device two, then the device three, device four, and so on. So signal is passed along with the ring in one direction from device to device until reaches to final destinations. So what happens here? If I'll say that it is Ring is relatively easy to install and configure. Ring is handle the better load. A central server is not required to manage this type of topology. Now, disadvantage if I'll say that data sent from one node to another node has to be passed through all the intermediate nodes. We know that. All the transmissions, while we are sending the transmission speed might drop while we increase the number of nodes when we are adding. The failure of a single node in the network can be cause the entire network to be get failed. This is the some of the disadvantage about our ring topology. Then we have the mesh topology. So over the mesh topology, where we can see that each devices has dedicated point-to-point connections linked to the other devices here. So the term dedicated means that all the link carries traffic only between the two devices when it is connected. So device one, device two, device three, device four, device five, all these are there. In case some device is getting disconnect, let's say this device is disconnect, still we have the communications where this is a dedicated link we have it, right? So it means like when we are seeing the advantage, it can handle the heavy traffic. There are the dedicated part between the two nodes when it is connected. The failure of a single node does not cause the entire network to be failed, as there is an alternate path for the data transmission. This is been considered as an advantage. And if I talk about the disadvantage, lot of cabling is required because it is connected link to link. Every device have the device to device connection. Cost interrupt for this setup and maintenance are very high. The apex are high. Administration part of this mesh network is difficult here. So we can see that this is the most difficult part of administration. That's the disadvantage of the mesh topologies. Now, if I talk about the star topology, which is each devices has a dedicated point-to-point connection, and that is controlled by a central device only. That can be considered as a hub here. So devices are not directly linked to another. The star topology does not allow the devices to connect each other. That will be connected with the central unit like an hub here. So the devices are not connecting each other. They are controlling by a central hub here. So let's have a look on this. Star topology is less expensive, easy to install and reconfigure, robustness, right? If I'll say that the disadvantage, the one big disadvantage about the star topology is the dependency. Is the dependency about the whole topology on the single point that this can be considered as a hub? If the main hub is get failed, the entire connection is lost. Okay. Now, if I would ask you guys, like as we have seen the star topology, mesh topology, like bus topology. So, what do you think? Like, just I want you to answer you that we have seen there are the several topologies we have it, right? So, what are those topologies we have seen? Let's say that we have seen bus topology, then we have seen the ring topology, right? We have seen the ring topology, we have seen the mesh topology, and we have seen the star topology. So which one we are using? Let's say that imagine your home network here. I want you to imagine your home network. So which topology we are using at our home network?
Star,
Bus
star,
star?
star as compared to router. Yeah. For
Yeah.
example, if you are taking in the router, there are LAN ports over there.
Mm. Yeah. So it will be considered, excuse me.
Okay,
All right, no problem. So here we can see that if we can see the router will be as a central device. The router can be considered as a central device, and we know that there are the several machines are there. Like let us consider that that will be the workstations, right? So there are the several workstations we have it. That can be a computer, laptop, desktop, mobile phones, and so on. So that's are getting control to the central server. So that can be considered as a router here. The router, hub, switch, whatever it may be. So these are considered as a central device. So all devices are connected to the router where we are getting access. In case, suppose, let's imagine a situation. If the router fails, the entire connection is lost. As let's imagine a situation, we are getting access to the internet, right? So suppose in some case, if the router is getting failed, do you think like can we be able to access to the internet? Is that possible?
no,
No,
we
right? The
can,
entire
but still we can access only one system with a direct LAN cable, but
no
we
no
can't access multiple
no.
workstations.
Yeah, does it be in the topology? I'm talking about within the topology.
Ah, no, it's not possible. We need to
It's
replace the port.
yes, we need to just have
Hub.
to see that the connection. It's not possible because the entire connection is dependency is there on the router. Initially, it gets failed, then we might may do the troubleshooting. That is obviously there are the different type of this troubleshooting process where we'll do the fault management systems and we'll make the systems direct connected with the LAN or that maybe any other reasons can be there. Correct? Yes, you may replace the hardware and so on. Okay. So this is how the topologies are there. Then we have something called as a hybrid topology. Now, when I say the hybrid topology is the mixing of two topology or three topology. It depends upon the network requirement. So how does it work? So whenever we are saying that these topology are the mix of two or more topology together. So example, if you can see that we have here as the star and bus topology, the combination of it. So might be we are separating the different departments. So this is how it can be used here. So there might be a several department. They might have different process here to be get connected here. So that's the reason we can mix two or three topology together. That is we call as an hybrid topology. Hybrid is a mixing of two or three, right? Correct or not? Yes, everyone.
Yes, yes.
Now we talk about the network devices. Now, when I talk about the network devices, that will be a several network devices can be there. It's not just we are talking about the network here. It's not just we are talking about like switch, hub, or router. There will be a different type of bridges, the different type of we have the functions of the devices like we can have the firewalls, access point, network interface cards, where we can see that we have modems, we have the repeaters, we have the load balancers, and so on. That will be there. So when I say that this is the basic process as we have discussed that. I might have talked about the load balancer. I might have talked about the access point. I might have talked about all other things also, like bridges, switches, routers, everything. But the reason why we are limiting this, because our target to get understand the network architecture, network flow, packet flow, how we can analyze those packet flow. That is the main concept. Because we are not doing this course to become a network administrator. We are going to understand this basic networking, that we need to be get understand some concept of this of analyzing the logs that comes to the security. So our entire session focus on the security. Based on that, whatever the requirements are there in the networking area, we are covering. You got my point, everybody? Is that clear?
Yes, brother.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes, sir.
main target is about our networking like security, not the networking.
Security.
Yeah. So we have the network device like hub, switch, and router. If I'll talk about it now, what does the hub will do? So when I say that the hub is very simple device. It connect multiple device in the network segment. But what happens if I'm sending a message here? Let's see that. If I'm sending one message, system A to the system B. So what happens? This message will go to the all the systems here. So it means like it broadcasts all the data, to all the devices connected without any filtering here. So it will not filter any information. It not send the specific to the particular device, but it will broadcast the data to the all the computers here. This is the possibilities are there when I talk about it. So this is one of the flaws are here where we can see that hub is a dump device because it not have any informations like what is the privacy, what are we can't make it any confidentialities while we are sending any data over the hub. So that's the reason hub is replaced by the switch. Now, guys, before I complete this, I would like to know that do you know anything about the OSI layers? Have you ever heard about that? There are the seven layers are there, right? Application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, physical layer. Have you ever heard about that?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
yeah. Over that layer, if I talk about physical layer, so physical layer will be considered as a layer one. Data link layer is a layer two. Network layer is a layer three, right? Transport layer is layer four. Station layer is layer five. Presentation layer is layer six. And if I talk about the application layer, is a layer seven here. Now, over these layers, these network devices will be there. I'll tell you in detail about those layers. Okay, let me just give you one idea here. Are you able to see this, everyone? Here.
Yes, bro.
So what we have, physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. So you consider this as logically. So how these layers can be there? What we call as a physical layer, what we call as a data link layer, what is the network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. So we'll see all those in detail about it. When I say that the hub always there on the physical layer. Then the next we have the switch. Switch are there into the L2 layers, that is called as a data link layer. And the routers which are there on the network layer, that is called as the L3 layer. Okay. So when I'll say the L1, L2, L3 means the layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. Layer 1 is the physical layer, layer 2 is the data link layer, layer 3 is the network layer. All right. Is that clear, everybody?
Yes.
Yes, bro.
So this is what I want you to understand. So when I say that the hub is broadcast all these data, like whenever we are sending the message to one system, but it can be get it with all the systems here. That is one of the default. That is one of the flaws, or that will be considered as one of the disadvantage. So that's the reason hub is replaced by the switch
Switch.
here. So here what happens if I'm sending a message from one system to another system here, right? So whenever when we are sending the message from one system to another system, that particular system is only going to be received here. Even though all the devices are connected to the switch, but they forward data to only the particular machine. Why? Because it is sended by using the back address. So whatever the data forward is happening to the particular recipient, that will be only receiving it here because it contains something called as a CAM table. What is the CAM? Contain addressable memory here. The contain addressable memory, which each device MAC address will be there. So that's the reason if I'm sending a message from one system to another system, so they recognize each system with the help of the MAC address and where the data can be get sent here. Now, where these switches can be there? Switches can be there on the data link layer, the L2 layer. Okay. Now, there is L2 switch and L3 switch also there. We call it the network layer switch, which also have the WAN process where the WAN connection can also be there. So those type of switches will be considered as L3 switches here. So we have the L2 switches where the data link layer will be considered, right? L3 switches that can be operated at the network layer. Is that clear, everybody? Still here?
Again, sir, L2, L2
L2
switches
switch
like
and L3 switch. L3 switch are
L.
the more advanced switches.
Oh,
Okay. L3 switches can be there on the network layer. Okay.
okay.
L2 switches are there on the data link layer. Correct?
Layer 2 device. Huh?
Yeah, layer 2 devices. This is how it would be there. Now we have the router. Now router, what it will do it connect with the different network, right? So router have a different type of connection to the switch, and through that the communications may happen here. So whenever we see the router, what happens exactly? So here we can see that a router direct the data packet between the different networks here. They determine what is the path, how the data can be get sent, what type of traffic that is getting passes. So it connect with the different network here. So router will check the routing table and route according to that. Is it will decided the best and fastest route for the packet transfer. What are the packet transfer can be happens. So in generally, if I'll say you that how the router is look like, let's have a look on this. Mm, let me show you that. So guys, here we can see something, right? This is this device. Everyone is aware about this device, correct? Yes,
Router.
router, right? Now what we have this. If I'll say you that I have this portion, right? What is this portion?
Antenna.
Yes. Why we have this? Because of the wireless connections, right or not? It is
Yeah.
used for wireless
Extend the
connections,
range.
right? So wireless connections where we can see that. It means like that Wi-Fi. It shows that all the wireless connections here where the devices can be sent connected on that. Now we have this part. Now what is this part here? If I'll say that this portion is here, what is this portion here? Why we use this portion? This can be act
To
as a
connect
yeah
As a
please.
switch.
to
As a switch.
to connect
LAN port
to
as a
connect to
switch.
our LAN port as a switch, because we can connect to multiple systems or laptop wirely.
Simple way we can say that it act like a switch, right? Can I say that it act as a switch? We know that, right? Clear? Now what we have? We have this is the part, right? Now what is this? It's our WAN network. It's the internet, right? As you can see that it mentioned already. So this is an internet device, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if I'll see in the corporate network, if I'll see my corporate architecture, right, how it will be there. So if I'll say talk about the corporate network here, how the network architecture will be there. Let us see that. I'll take one of these here. No, let me copy this. Okay, fine. So here we can see that if I'll talk about this corporate network, so these devices are different here, if you can see that. So it means like if we'll see that there is one separate device as a router here, correct? Everyone,
Mhm.
Yes.
you can see that. Yes. Then we have the firewall. The UTM is nothing but it's an advanced firewall. We can be considered as a unified threat management firewall. Okay, so that is the firewall here. Then we have here the different device like switches here. So this is the different devices switches can be there over the network. Then we have the different access points. Wireless access point is nothing but the Wi-Fi connections here. So here we can see that when we are talking about the corporate systems, like corporate routers or the networks, it can be like these the devices are. Here we can see that the corporate systems can be have like the different type of computer servers where we can see the different type of wireless controls. So this is how the network architecture will be there. Correct? Yes, everyone.
Yes.
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 So if we'll see that the router is there for the small business, like home-based network, whenever we are talking that the Wi-Fi router might may use it. But when we talk about the corporate system, it will be look something like that. Correct? If I'll show you the something, some router, let me just give you one example here. Cisco, let me take a Cisco router here. How it would be there. Something like this. Have you ever had anyone is there who's are working this type of router? Cisco series router as 9000. Have you ever worked on this? Anyone? Or have you
Is this a
seen?
router, brother?
Yes. This is a corporate router, right?
Oh.
Whenever we are seeing that. This is a Cisco ASR 9000 series routers are there. It is contain the different type of traffic process. Whenever we are seeing that, it depends upon it. So I believe we have understood that these routers configurations are completely different. It depends upon high corporate systems, whenever we are connecting, what are the connections we give it, and so on. You got my point, everybody?
Yes.
I have seen this device at a local service provider shop, brother. Like I have
Hmm.
seen something related to that. They have multiple cables on this, and they are managing all the networks of the customers.
Yes, yes, yes. So it depends, right? Whenever we talk about this is the type of process where it has been used. So generally we got to know that router will decide it how the routing is may happens, right? What are the processes happening? So it will be take the best routing part, it connect with the different network in order to flow the packet, in order to send those packets. So now, if I'll say you that whenever we talk about any communications, either we are doing the Zoom meeting, either you're sending a WhatsApp, either you're sending an email, you're going to the website and getting access over the internet, the communications happens over the 7 layers. So what are those 7 layers are there? These are the 7 layers where we can consider here. So these layers, what I'm talking about it, whenever we see that any communications that is happens on these layers only. So we can see that these layers are like, okay. So these layers are like, we can see that application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So guys, let's take an example. If I'm sending a WhatsApp message to my friend, okay, so I'll be considered as a sender. So I'm sending a WhatsApp message to my friend, I'll be considered as a sender. My friend who's are going to receive this message. So that can be a receiver, correct? Yes or no,
Yes.
everyone? Now, as a sender, if I'm sending this information, so how the data flow happens between these layers? Just to get a rough idea, well, we send the data from application layer to the physical layer. So whatever the informations we are sending it here, right? So it will be get travel from application layer to the physical layer. Whenever we are receiving any data, that's are going from physical layer to the application layer. This is how the reverse order where the data information get traveled here. So application layer to the physical layer and the physical layer to the application layer. So that's how the communications happen. Let me give you one simple example here. So here we can see that if I'm talking about it. So what is this here, guys? So sender and receiver, correct? So we are sending a letter here. I just want you to understand in a very simple way. So here we just consider that this is the layer one, this is the layer two, this is the layer three, right? So here also this is the layer three, this is the layer two, this is layer one. For the example here, okay. So layer one, what we are doing it, we are writing the letter, we are putting into the envelope, we are dropping into a mailbox. So we have written something for our friend on the letter, and we put into the envelope and we drop in an mailbox here. Now the letter is carried from the mailbox by a postman. Like the postman will come and collect all the letters and he'll take that letter to a post office. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, yes,
Now post office is the main hub where they segregate where these letters should be get delivered. What would be the destination part for this letter here? So the letter should be get sent it to the, like, what would be the source address, destination address. That is very important here. Within the city, between the country, where it should be go by bus, by train, by air, whatever it is. So that letter need to be get sent it based on that area. The source to destination delivery is happen. Now, how our friend will receive the letter here is very important here. Now the letter will comes to the main hub. As we know, like layer three is the first layer for our friend who is working on it. So the letter will deliver to the main post office. Then they segregate based on the zip code, pin code, and the person will take that letter and get dropped to the mailbox of that particular person, right? So the letter is carried from that post office and dropped to the mailbox here. From that mailbox, the letter is picked up and removed from the envelope and read by our friend. Correct? Yes or no?
yes,
Yes.
yes,
So
yes,
the
yes.
sender, if as the sender is sending it, layer one, layer two, and layer three. If the receiver is receiving, that is as layer three, layer two, and layer one. You got my point in the reverse order, correct? So
Yes.
something like this
Mhm.
one here, right? Are you able to understand this, guys? First, we use the application layer, then the presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So that data get transferred. As the receiver, it will go from the physical layer to the data link layer, then the network, then the transport, session, presentation, and application layer. Correct? You got my point, everybody?
Yes,
Yes.
bro.
Okay. This is how where these layers will do. So in the next session, we're going to discuss all the details about these layer, like how those communications happens, what are the methods are there, everything in detail to get understanding. Okay, till here is clear to everybody.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
bro.
right. So before I
Next
end this
lec
session, yeah, please.
next lecture will be on OSI layer, yeah?
Right, OSA layer. That
Okay,
is on Monday, right?
okay,
Because the
okay,
sessions are Monday to Thursday, as we know that.
okay.
Now, guys, what I want you to understand that those are there in US. I want to make it that clear. Today is Wednesday night, right?
Yes, bro.
So it's a Sunday night to the Wednesday night. Those are
Yes.
in India in Middle East, Monday to Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we don't have the sessions always. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
this is the final session which I have completed as an open session. From Monday onwards, we'll be there. It is an onboarded. So today, may I know like how many of you are like are enrolled for the long term and who have not enrolled yet?
Like with a payment or
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, you have done the payment and done all the form, like, joining for process. The person is ready with your numbers and joining to the WhatsApp group, all those.
yeah, I have paid half amount
Okay.
with Sohail.
Okay. Yeah, you done that. Then what about others?
I have done part payments, and in
Yeah,
10 days, I will do another payment.
no problem. You means like you have done this, all right? Okay. 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 All right. So who have not done, please I request you if you're interested to go ahead because we are going to create an WhatsApp group now and the videos and everything will be getting and all the resources. All I'm going to share that on WhatsApp group which we have been there. Personally, I'll be there in that WhatsApp group also. Like so to get the resources and all the videos will be getting access directly because it's going to be open right away. It's an open video because as if it is a basic. So this is also get the private by like next session. So we get one dedicated channel where all the video access recording will be there in that channel. So you don't need to search for every link every day. You have to just click on that link, what you have given the email ID. So once we create the WhatsApp group, we request you to send an email ID, and all the setup on your account will be get created. Will we get one complete profile with your name and your email ID. In future, anywhere if you require anything, they search with that and get connect you. So make sure that whenever you give your email ID, it should be first thing is the Gmail one, which will be your permanent email ID. Okay, never use the temporary email ID for the account whenever they ask you, because that is the source where the people will connect you back and back whenever you require anything. Got it?
Okay, bro.
Yes.
Yeah. All
Yes.
right. So that's all. Thank you
I have
very much.
one doubt, brother.
Yes.
Sorry, brother. I
Sunil.
have one doubt. Like you said in the previous sessions, like LinkedIn account, right?
Mhm.
So do we have to create the new one, or what is the scenario for that?
No, don't need to create anything. See, there are two scenarios are there where a team will
Mhm.
give you, if you have already have it, team will give you all the suggestions, right? The samples.
Mhm.
What would be the LinkedIn profile should be there, how it should be optimized. In case
Mhm.
if you don't have if you're not able to do that, so our team will be
Mhm.
there to create behalf of you.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Or you want us to do the optimization, so our team will do the optimize on your LinkedIn profile. Okay.
Okay, brother.
So
Thank you.
we
Yeah.
don't have class tomorrow.
Yeah. We have the may I know Ajmal where you stay?
I'm in the US.
US, right? So in US the sessions are there from Sunday to Wednesday. Sunday night to
Saturday,
the
Sunday to
no
Wednesday.
no yeah, Sunday to Wednesday.
Only for US, brother, not a different
Okay.
country.
And
US,
Canada.
Canada, I
Okay.
guess same.
Yes,
So
United Canada
perfect.
is same.
So
Yeah,
so the next session is on Monday.
yes. Week
Uh,
four sessions. We in
Okay,
a week
Sunday.
we have the four sessions. Okay. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for India. India or Middle East. Okay.
Got you. Thank you.
Yes, sure, brother.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
brother.
much.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much. See you in the next session. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.